What's up and welcome to another One Piece chapter review from me, Super Nolan Man, and the Hyrule King, Bo Mitchell. Today we are talking
Hey, hey.
about chapter 1163, Promise, and the summary is as follows. Satellite Emu is sampling Soulja Boy in a new song they like to call Kill Me Through the Phone. Has Emu shown up to kill the Marines? To kill the pirates? The answer is yes. In other news, I believe it's officially safe to say that Garp has beaten the accusations and the allegations and had no knowledge of what was going on in Epstein Island. I mean, God Valley. Meanwhile, Emu and Rox are talking just vague enough to fuel the One Piece Reddit for weeks, and all the fodder are getting wiped out to make room for the heavy hitters to come in, look cool, and accomplish absolutely nothing. Finally, right when the remnant of the Davy clan thought they were getting away, Emu hit them with the old Uno reversi and has resorted to throwing rocks at them. Now,
Oh my word, man.
people love it. Maybe
It's
they
no,
don't.
it's funny.
I love it at least. Well, hey, let's start with this. Give me your top level thoughts on this chapter because, man, some of this was real hot.
Yeah, man, that panel might be one of the coolest panels Oda has ever drawn,
That
where it
double
has
page
like
spread,
everybody all in one
man,
shot
yes.
trying to hit Emu. Ooh, man, that was like that gave me shivers. Like that makes me excited for what he could do in the final battle. Like imagine shots like that in the final battle
See,
with like Luffy in the game. Oh man.
I thought for sure we were going to get this in. I talked about it for years. I thought this was what was going to happen in Wano, is that you were going to have
Yeah.
Kaido and Big Mom in the middle, and you were going to have the entire worst generation working around them, putting in shots at once. And I thought we were going to get a really sick spread like this. We ended up getting some cool stuff with that, but this is pretty sweet. I wish it was happening live, and not in the past. Um, because this is really
Still
cool.
amazing.
I will say
Really
that
cool.
I wish there was. I honestly, which this is a bizarre thing to say about One Piece. I wish that they'd taken a little bit more time with this because I felt like as much as this is such a cool shot, um, I feel like there's a little bit of a lack of impact for me. Like when I saw this,
Yeah,
I feel
well,
like
yeah,
this should
because
have hit
Emu just gets
harder.
right back up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of it. Is we don't really have time to sit on it or anything like that, or to witness the absolute like
How he
destruction
would
wrought upon
have done
Emu,
that.
and then to come back. But this is a really
Yeah.
cool shot here. Uh, I love getting all the names of the attacks here, and
Yeah.
I'm sure this is what everybody else is talking about, but we have to talk about it because it's so dope. But you have Garp coming in with the Galaxy Impact. You have uh Roger there with Divine Departure. You have who is this here? Rocks coming in with Pandemonium. No,
Very fitting name for a
yes,
rocks attack.
yes. You have Chak Hakua from Whitebeard, Ikaku Sovereignty from Big Mom, and then Kaido comes in. So you're getting Galaxy
Going,
Impact,
"Rah!"
Divine Departure, Pandemonium, Hakua, Ikaku Sovereignty, uh, Dragon. Bleh. I love it.
I'll give him credit. He hasn't had time to come up with the cool shonen name yet.
No, and I love that. I just love that. It's just Dragon. I can't wait to hear this in the English dub.
Oh, that's gonna be so good. Yeah, especially because it'll be read really badly.
I hope
So it'll just be
it
some
is.
dork going, "Dragon."
Oh, I don't know if they're gonna go that far, but it's gonna be. I think it's
You'd
gonna
be
actually be
amazed.
super
Some
over
of
the
it's so
top.
bad.
Some of it is,
Yeah.
but some of it is also really good. One Piece dub
Yeah.
not as bad as most other dubs, but anyways.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, hey, what are you giving this on a 5-star scale? The chapter.
I think overall as a chapter, it's pretty solid.
Hmm.
But I will say it's got maybe less going on.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to describe because like compared to the last chapter,
Mm-hmm.
feels like we got more in that chapter.
Sure.
Um, so I maybe give this. I think the last chapter I gave it a 4.5 or something
Hmm.
like that. I'll give this one a 4.
Uh,
Um, just because it's like it's still a really good chapter. It's and like continuing what we liked,
hmm.
but it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
And moments like the emu thing where it's like that could have hit like slightly better.
Yep.
I think that also puts it a little bit lower.
Absolutely. This double page spread that we talked about is one that we talked about for a long time. I think there's a couple things
Yes,
mentioned in here
I
in
love
the
that.
chapter that are kind of dripped through that might be interesting when coming back to later. Um, Myself, I'm very much with you. I'm kind of hopping back between that 4 and 4 or 5, um, which shows that this is a great chapter here. There's just a
Oh
couple
yeah,
things that
definitely,
fall
definitely.
short, and like you said, it's one of those you watch this, you're like, okay, outside of Domi Reversi and what happened. Well, we're about to talk about what happened,
Yeah,
but uh, but it's one of those where I mean, I usually have to like,
it's a lot of carrying on plot threads from the last couple chapters,
yep.
which is why it feels kind of just there.
Yeah, and it's like it's been moving kind of slowly, which is the one thing about this flashback is in some senses, how do I want to put this? They don't need
You
to
want more,
focus
but you
on
also
the
want less.
they don't need to focus on the side
Certain
characters,
things.
these small characters, the fodder so much because I feel like there's a solid 2 to 3 pages from each chapter that are getting wasted on nobodies. Just to kind of show
Yeah,
like there's pandemonium happening. We've got that at this point. We know how chaotic it is. Either show us like a single overview of the area and kind of show like here's here's the explosions on the different parts of the map, or
yeah,
just cut that stuff out entirely. Give us more time to sit with something like Emu getting blasted. Um, but
yeah.
anyways,
I think in some regards, he probably has wanted to tell us for so long.
sure,
He's thought of like all these little details, like all these characters that are interacting, so he can't like almost can't leave them out.
right?
That
Yeah,
might not be the case, but it kind of feels that way.
yeah. And some of them I really like. I really like. Well,
Yeah.
to keep us moving, let's talk about Captain John turning out to be the previous wielder of the
Yeah.
magnet fruit. Did we know this ahead
Love
of
this.
time? I
I'm
don't
not
recall
sure.
anything about that.
I don't. It seems vaguely familiar, like we
Hmm.
maybe had heard it once. Um, but I love that we get to see like the previous owner basically like die right in front of us, so we know
Right?
like all right, this is where it happened.
Yeah, yeah, because we've known about Captain John's untimely demise because of Thriller Bark, um, and interesting, by the way, that Moria somehow had access. We don't see Moria here. Very interesting.
Moria is such an interesting character because
Because
he
of
gets all these famous people somehow. Like,
it,
did he just like go to this battle later? Like, how
right?
did he do that?
Yeah, just kind of
Very interesting. Yeah.
pick through the ashes there, but yeah, I don't think we knew about him having the magnet fruit because this hits like a reveal to me. Uh,
Yeah.
because it's just all this treasure is moving away. Where's it all going to? Sure enough, Captain John, and that also gives us a little bit of background on how Captain John got
Operated.
all this treasure to begin with, and why he had
Yeah.
such an immense treasure left behind that Buggy was able to capitalize on and fund his startup. But
Yeah.
but man, I thought that was pretty cool, and this is probably the best time to talk about Domi Reversi, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I'll let you start here. Did you think that this is where it was going to go? Because we saw this from a lot of people. I think this was like a lot of people were thinking, okay, this could be a way that it goes, but is Rox going to be too strong for that to work? What are you thinking here?
Yeah. Um, I saw it a couple ways of like before we got like to this point. I thought like okay, maybe like Rocks got to Shocky first and everybody like fought him for her.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he failed or whatever. But I think this is, pretty logical step
Sure.
of like where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um And I think it's really cool because he's set up that whole like dynamic of how much he loves his family and
Yes.
he like really wants to care for them.
Right.
And yeah, I think my guess he's gonna kill his wife at minimum.
Yeah,
So that'll be pretty intense.
I agree. I there's a reason that we haven't seen anything about her and why Teach is alone. Uh,
Yep. And
so,
if he sees his dad kill his mom in front of him, that's villain setup number one.
right? Yeah. Now,
No wonder he's so messed up. Like, yeah, easy.
right? Yeah. And again, his beef is going to be with the world government, because we know and we recognize that. Uh, can you leave some of those here, please? Thank you. Uh, sorry, I've had a cold, and so is the wife. She just came and got the tissue box from me. Anyways, uh, totally lost my trail of thought there. I guess I'm gonna have to let that one go.
We were talking about the setup with Teach and like how he's mad at the
Oh,
world
gotcha.
government.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yeah, his
Yeah.
ship is called the Saber of Zebek. So we know that he still has an affinity towards his dad, and what that problem means is ultimately his clan as well. So yeah, this totally sets him up as an enemy of the world government. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd be
is
pissed if they did this to my dad. It's like, man.
right. Yeah, where do you think that things are going with this dummy reversi? There's a lot of theories out there. I'm not really too concerned about the how it works. I'm curious about where you think it's going to go. How do you, in the main story, where do you think that Domi Reversi is going?
Oh, do you think like it'll get brought up again?
Well, they've already started using it. They've used it on Dorian Brogy, and Dorian
Yeah.
Brogy started flipping over
Um,
people too.
yeah, I kind of wonder if he's setting up that he's going to use it on a Straw Hat because that would be really interesting.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It's kind of it's an interesting ability because at the moment, like the person that he's like flipped, like the most important person is Rocks. So it's like, does he actually want to use one of the main characters like that, and then they have to figure out how to turn them back?
Yeah,
It's a
because
really interesting ability because you're like, okay, is this like reversible or is this permanent or like we don't really know a lot about it yet.
and are they going to start stacking reverse cards on top of each other like Extreme Uno? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could this is one that I could see possibly becoming messy, but I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think you're absolutely right. I think that we're going to see a straw hat flipped, and this flashback we're not going to see anything about someone getting flipped. I don't think. I think that
Probably not.
anyone who's been flipped at this point, they're just stuck that way. We know that Rox dies here, seemingly defeated by uh, Garp and Roger. We'll see if that remains true, but that's how we see this going. It's possible that Emu just
Yeah.
dips out to the end of this chapter here. Um, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because yeah, he basically or yeah, they basically set up this like perfect agent to wreak havoc, so like they don't really need to stay.
Yeah, yeah. This will be interesting to see. I want to know where that goes, but I think you're exactly right. I think here we see the no flip happen, and you just have Rocks defeated, killed here, and then we're gonna get back to the main story. Luffy's going to be showing up in time to see members of his crew flipped and have to fight against him, and you're going to have someone like Gabon saying like, "Hey, you're going to have to kill them unless Luffy's able to find a way. Maybe his fruit is the foil to Domi Reversi. We don't know, but
Oh yeah, maybe. I bet you money because Oda's a freak.
mhm.
Nami's gonna be one of the people that flips, and he's gonna get all weird.
Oh, see, I s- I think it's
Maybe
going to
not.
be either like one of the lesser straw hats. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
ones not
like Usopp,
the
Chopper,
the Grand
Nami.
Line the Grand Line editions. Yeah. Not the East Blue folks. Although if anyone from the East Blue were to get flipped, I could see it being Zoro. I think that'd be an interesting one. But
That would be
it's
scary. How would you even handle that?
right. If there's one
Like,
person
he's
on
the
the island,
most
you don't want to
like,
get
one of the most
flipped.
powerful ones. Yeah.
Yeah. If it man, there's a fan story that could go hard there, but
I don't know.
let's
I don't know if they would actually be able to get to Zoro to do that to him. He's so powerful. Like him and Luffy, I don't see them getting flipped. But
well
maybe I'm just like
he
headcanon they're OP or whatever.
he got rocks. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think and which by the way, seeing this double page spread here, as cool as this is, I'm looking at these people and I'm like, cool. Luffy and Zoro are on that tier. If Luffy and Zoro were here,
That's
they would
true.
be included in that group because these aren't necessarily like prime Garp and Roger, well, maybe prime Garp. But Roger, we assume got a little bit of a boost after this. A lot of these
Mhm.
Yonko are in their younger years, so at the very least, I would say
Fox is one of the
Luffy.
most powerful people there. Yeah,
Yeah, Luffy.
that's true.
Luffy is at least on par with this group here, but I would. It seems like
More like I just don't want Oda to
Rox
do
is the
it.
big. Yeah, is the biggest of the bunch. Yeah, we'll see here. This
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
interesting.
I trust him. He'll do it right.
Yeah, it'd be funny if Luffy got flipped or whatever, and then he turns into the
He
the
just goes
real.
Gear 5.
Yeah, well, he
And
gets
he
flipped.
gets rid
He
of
gets he gets exactly right. Like he gets the horns and everything. He starts being all weird. He's like, I'm gonna hunt you down or whatever. Like being super like being evil but goofy about it, and everybody's just like, what the heck? And it's just just kidding or whatever. But he like keeps the form or something. I don't know. I
It's one of those things I could see Usopp joking about later.
Yeah, one of those.
He has like carrots in his mouth or something, like for the
Yes.
fins, and just
Oh man, I need that gag to happen. I need this gag to
Yeah.
happen. I could see him flipping Luffy and Luffy find some way to break out of it because I mean, fruit
Oh, yeah.
ex machina, whatever it is. But anyways, we were going to talk about Where's Harold, but there's really nothing to talk about here. Like he doesn't have a lot of time to show up if he's going to show up here.
he was gonna be there by now. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
where is that guy?
Yeah, he
Oh,
may
well.
have had nothing to do with this here. But we'll see. There's still a
That's
little bit of
shitty.
time. We'll see what happens here. Well, let's talk about this real quick. Who are you giving the biggest stock increase to this week? Which character had the biggest stock increase?
That's a tough one.
If you need to think
'Cause
about it, I
don't
can
feel
go
like
first.
anybody. Yeah, go for it because I don't feel like anybody was like super stand out. But maybe you'll open my eyes.
Well, for myself, I'm gonna say Garp. I'm giving this one to Garp big time.
Okay.
And the reason, well, I've already made
Oh,
Emu
because of what
the
he said. Yeah.
No, I'm making Emu the cover thumbnail for this because Emu did manage to flip rocks. People weren't sure if they were going to be able to do that, but with Garp, very clear that he's anti WG here, and the way that he came against
Good.
he starts to rush forward, and his subordinates are like, "Are we going to help?" He's like, "Yeah, come in. We're going to help." And then they're like, "Wait a minute, help who?" And then you just see that smile as he goes in against Emu. I love that so much. I thought that was brilliant. And you know what? Forget what the haters say. Garp, we never doubted you. We knew you were a real one. You've just got a different sense of justice than Dragon,
True.
and people want Dragon right now because people are just in a weird state right now. But anyways, I'm big on Garp. This
Cool.
was like this is exactly what I wanted to see from Garp, and it happened really succinctly. We didn't need to get a big speech from him. We didn't need to get all this like we didn't need
Yeah, it doesn't need
this
to be long.
Goku savior complex speech from him to get him involved here.
Yeah, I think I will give him a second place spot because
Okay.
I like a good villain hype up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like this chapter with Emu shows like this dude is really powerful because like he turned rocks like it was nothing, like
Mhm.
just boom, he's turned. Like this dude is scary.
Mhm.
That makes me really hyped up because like he's definitely gonna be at the final battle.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that Oda is giving him more of a hype because yeah, for a little bit there, it just seemed more like a slinking in the shadows kind of villain.
Hmm.
So we needed more of that power shown.
Absolutely. And
That's my
we
take
very much
anyway.
see that here. I think that's a good
Yeah.
call. Again, there's a reason that Emu is the thumbnail cover,
Yeah.
not Garp. But Garp, my biggest dog increase. Well, now I mentioned to you beforehand, I've got a little bit of a theory here that I'd like to share.
Yeah.
And
Let's hear that
this
theory.
is
I'm excited.
I'm gonna be real. This is full crackpot theory here. Okay, this is
All
this
right.
is kind of silly, but it's one of those where it's so off the wall that you're like, what if, right? So we get this
Go for
dialogue
it.
between Rox and Emu here, and there is a lot that is said between them, and a lot of people are gonna. Oh, here, let me pull it up real quick to make sure that I quote it correctly here. I don't want to screw this up. There you guys are. So you have Emu calling Rox Davy Jones,
Yeah.
and it being like, okay, so does Rox have some kind of direct connection? Is Emu just crazy? There's clearly something
I
going
think
on
he
there,
looks like him.
and uh, and then you've got Rox being like, I've never met the guy. However, promises are meant to be kept, which is interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Which could just mean like, hey, I'm gonna come back, because he said at one point like, hey, next time I meet you, I'm gonna kill you, something like that. Or there could be something going on with Davy E. Jones, because he introduced himself as a Davy Jonesian pirate, and he was all, which is exactly why your kind must be erased from history, and that's what a lot of people I think are gravitate towards. But I want to talk about how Rox greets Emu here, saying, "Hey, you, king of the bilge rats." So, crackpot theory time. And here's the if this comes true, I don't
Emu is
necessarily
actually a
want.
rat.
I don't really want credit for this, because I'm sure that there's actually probably going to be a lot of people who bring this up. Um, but
I mean,
I don't think that this is necessarily original. But that's too that's such a very specific uh insult to throw at him. So at her, him, whoever. So King
I
of the Bilge
never remember.
Rats. Of course, bilge rats are just, rats from the bilge of a ship, of course. It could just be
Yeah.
saying that Emu is the Lord of the Scumbags, right? Like that is a thing. Is calling somebody a bilge rat. But King of the Bilge Rats is a little different. Bo, have you ever
Yeah.
heard of a Rat King?
I have. Yes.
Yes. So, well, it shows up in a lot of games. I'm pretty sure it's actually in Dishonored. I think has it. I'm trying to remember correctly. Okay, not Dishonored. I'm thinking of a different sim. Anyways, so immersive
It is a
sim.
popular folktale.
Yeah. So a Rat
Yep.
King, for viewers, is where rats get so into the carnage and filth of what they're trying to consume that
Mhm.
blood and guts and things like that hair will cause their tails to all kind of stick together and basically like morph them in, not to where they become literally one rat, but them getting stuck like that, kind of this weird amalgamation of several rats. They call that a Rat King. So what if Emu is actually, and the reason we haven't seen their face, they are actually the culmination of the original 20 leaders formed into one being,
Mm.
except for one leader who would be Lily. And Davy Jones actually helped Lily escape, not to become part of the amalgamation, but Emu ever since has been trying to bring that line back in to complete the full amalgamation of those 20 leaders. And that's why he's hunting down Vivi now, who clearly seems to be some kind of descendant of Lily. So my crackpot theory
Okay.
is that Emu is a rat king and is the amalgamation of these leaders together minus Lily. And Lily is the reason
I
that
could see that.
couldn't reach its final form. So the role that uh uh I just forgot her name. Uh
Lily.
not Lily.
Emu.
No. Alabasta princess queen Vivi. The role that Vivi
Oh,
will play
Vivi.
in this final arc is that Emu is trying to become whole, and if he is able to absorb, uh, or whatever he needs to do with Vivi, that he'll reach some kind of final form. But anyways, that's my crackpot theory
Not bad
based
idea.
on this chapter here.
I think
How
that
bad is
actually
it?
kind of makes sense. No, I think that actually makes sense in terms of like what we've already seen with the story too,
Mm,
because that would kind of give a little bit of background to how they're controlling like Saturn and doing all of this
mm,
stuff and basically like manifesting through Saturn.
mm,
That would make sense if it was like this amalgamation and
mm.
Saturn was just kind of like brought into the fold,
Sure.
so to speak. I actually really like that. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty cool. And it fits with what he said too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and there's not a
I think it's neat.
yeah, and there's not a
That'd be
lot
cool.
of evidence for this. It's mostly tying loose threads together based off of one interesting thing that was said here. So I by no means do I push this around as something that like
You don't
holds
subscribe
water,
to this theory.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't like, hey,
Far
I'm
bad idea.
building exactly. I'm not building my head canon of how I think the rest of the series is going to go based off of this. I know it doesn't hold a lot of water, but it's interesting. It ties
I'm
some
cool with
threads
it.
together, so I liked
That's
it.
pretty neat.
But
Yeah.
you know what, guys? Y'all can tell us in the comments below what you think about Emu being the Rat King, or if you think that Harold is going to show up
Crazy is not
at this
crazy.
point.
Let us know.
Right. But that's going to do it for this chapter. Remember, if you like these reviews, you've got to click like, share it with your Discord, and subscribe if you want to share more. We also talk a lot, by the way, about video games, so click on our channel to check that out because we have been going through drafting our favorite games from our favorite consoles of all time. And later this week, we're going to be talking about the DS and 3DS. We got the Switch coming up soon.
Yeah.
But hey, that's going to do it for the rest of you. Have a great day.